Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Sunday evening to join me. I really do appreciate it. Tonight we're talking about the death of Blockbusters, and no, not brick and mortar IRL, vintage, throwback, classic, spending Friday night with your mom and dad type stuff. For those of us that are lucky enough to have any memories at all that involve those very things. I know that myself probably spent more time just outside the door where kids weren't allowed to go in while my parents rented whatever movies they felt like renting in the mid 90s while they were doing their thing, living their best life. Shout out to my parents. What comes along with what comes along with this territory, right? I do a little bit of improv stand up. I do a little bit of self deprecation, all these different things. And so sorry, not sorry. So anyways, really, I'm not joking about that last part though. And it's okay, right? Because it's not, not hating or whatever. In that time, I got to browse the new releases, and I also got to see all the video games I wasn't allowed to rent. Again, in retrospect, I think what upsets me the most is knowing and or understanding that the movies they were renting and buying cost so much more than the nominal amount it would have cost to even just, throw an Albert a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rental, just for the same price, mom and dad, that you're, spending all of this dough on, you feel me? We could be spending it on other things too. But just, it's all, just perspective on what my opinion is on some things in life. But the death of Blockbusters really sucks, honestly. And I gotta tell you, I spend the good majority of my life trying my best to avoid contact with everyone and sort of just, watching movies on my own accord. I was telling my roommate one time that I spent a couple of months of my life not talking at all, making a conscious effort to not say any word, like a single word, and I just watched movies like all day long, all night long. It was one of those things. I made it though. It was at least 3 months, and it was kind of cool. But I love movies. Kind of obviously, I think a lot of us do. They were an escape, right? Just so much as reading was kind of an escape for me. I really enjoy reading, and I really enjoy watching movies. Both of those things probably equally. I do. I've probably seen 10,000 movies. I've probably read 10,000 books. I like balance in my life. That's the thing, too, especially with the things that I really enjoy doing. So, yeah, I've read a lot of books, and yes, I've watched a lot of movies, but all at the cost of staying distracted, right? I mean, you can't put a price on a good distraction, especially knowing all of the irresponsible decisions that your parents make while growing up. Again, I do believe that we were the first house on the entire block in our neighborhood to have a DVD player, for example, and those things were the price of a small used car today, and the movies were like $80 too. And just keep in mind that adjusted for inflation, I imagine that $80 in 1996 is probably more like $150 in today's money. So I'm just saying, like perspective. That's all that I'm saying. Anyways, movies aren't the way they used to be, and I know this, and I brought all those things up because I feel like if there's something I've done in life, it's nothing in life. And that's one of those things that involves nothing, my mind is an endless database of all different kinds of little trivial facts that no one else would ever know because it's just not important, Albert. What you do is not important, and I know this, and that's all right by me. So I tell you what, it's been an interesting life I've lived just because now that I'm getting older and I'm seeing different platforms, and we're all seeing it. It's not just me, but this is my perspective. I see different platforms and I see all of the in-house content made, and at some point I asked myself, like, what is happening? Like, every movie is terrible, like every actor, every actress. Again, I'm sorry, are you one of these people? be better because movies used to be cool. You're gonna blame the writers, and then we're gonna blame the strike, and then we're gonna blame and blame and blame everybody, whoever wants to be blamed. Kind of like the anti-Oprah old school episode, right? You're to blame. You're to blame. Everyone is to blame, but yourself, of course. You're not to blame because you're special. But still doesn't change the fact, my special friend, that movies suck. And I'm just, again, like, why do I hear and I see things online that talk about how Netflix has a budget of $100 billion? I mean, they have the budget of, like, there are countries in the world that operate on smaller amounts of money and take care of actual people with it. I'm just saying that, like, perspective. That should be the overall theme of tonight's video, right? The underlying theme is perspective. So again, you'd figure, I'm just saying that, like, with that amount of money, you'd think that people would make something good. But then you might not think that because that's just one year's budget, right? And next year there's probably going to be equal or more to that. It doesn't matter. However the output is made, it just sucks. Hulu movies suck. Netflix movies suck. They all suck. And I'm sorry, I've tried to get behind it. I've tried. Hulu, for example, used to make some really good movies, really good original series, and now they don't. I don't know. They're also owned by Disney right now. And I have seen Hulu turn in from something that was awesome, right? 20 years ago, beta, it streamed South Park for free with ads. I've seen it. I watched it in my dorm room with my friends. That was a thing, and now it's just got so much worse. And now you have to pay for it. You gotta pay for it. When back in the day, it was free. And the whole point of it being free was because there were ads. I mean, I'm sure there are people watching this video that remember services like Pandora, things like that. Music that was free, only you had to listen to ads, kind of like that thing called the radio. So that's just how those things worked, right? And now, as consumers, we have to pay for terrible entertainment that still has ads. So it's just completely gone away from the traditional model of having an incentive to do things the right way. I don't know why it is. What is that with us? What's up with us human beings? Like, why must we have, like, an incentive other than making good things to make good things? It should just be incentive in and of itself. If you're going to make a movie, you want to make that movie good. Unless you just kind of want to put some garbage out and get paid. And that's different. Like, you should just go get a job. Something else that doesn't involve destroying an art form. Because movie making is an art form. That's what it is. It tells a story. There are characters. Blockbusters, back in the day, big title movies, even those, if it were the same actor, at least the story was good. At least the supporting cast was good. At least it was worth 2.5 hours of your time. Most recently, my roommate and I spent a third of our day watching the new Scorsese film, right? And the subject matter was awesome, but just the length of the movie, something about wallflowers or something, I don't know. I just know that it was a very long movie, and I have never spent that much time in a movie theater in my entire life. And for something that wasn't even that good. Like, I can understand, I'm watching Star Wars, it's good, you keep me there for 4 hours. I'm watching Harry Potter, same thing, it's just not that way with new movies. And that makes me really sad because so much more money is being spent on production and for people to have an opportunity to actually be good actors, to actually, be, like, believable and not just playing cosplay, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just very, very, there's nothing good on Hulu. They've taken everything good away. All of the networks have just made it their mission in life to make things so much harder for everybody involved in trying to consume their content. Here's the thing. This is like 2002 with the musicians and their refusal to hand over plentiful amounts of music in a world where file sharing was good for an industry that really needed it, but the musicians weren't about it. What happens to actors and actresses? What happens to all of their material that they make from 2010 to 2024? I mean, if it's cataloged and then archived, how on earth is it, doing anyone any justice if it's been made, if it's been paid for, and it's not being consumed? Isn't that the whole point? Or again, moreover, is it not? Is the entire world a Ponzi scheme? I mean, is there nothing good? This bothers me. I want to see a good movie. I want to see good young actors. I do not want to see Nepo babies on my screen that couldn't act if you gave them a boatload of money and classes for 10 years. I mean, be as it may, with graduates of places like Juilliard and different other performing art schools around the nation, I feel like, again, it's not just my opinion, but the opinion of millions of other people, that the industry sucks right now. And it's so tough because even when you do find something that's good, it just gets shelved and tucked away. And then in 5 years, we may or may not see it again. And by then, it doesn't matter, does it? I don't think so, because I'm already on something new. I've moved on. And I don't know. It's just, all day I was trying to find something to watch on Hulu. It's impossible. Disney destroys everything. Disney, please stop destroying everything. Just because you own it doesn't mean that you can destroy it and just never really. I don't know. I'm all about VHS tapes. For the record, before I get out of character, you guys should all buy physical media, because it's the only way that you can assure yourself that in 20 years from now, you may actually be able to revisit that kind of time in the world by watching a movie, right? So it's just the simple things in life. How the heck are you going to watch a movie, any TV show, anything at all, when it's not even available, or you have to pay many different providers to get access to the entirety or the totality of the show and or movie franchise series? Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm done. Hey guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I love film, and I love reading, and I love writing. I love all those cool things. I always have. It always has been a huge part of my life. Nothing has changed. Only this face that really blows my mind every single day of my life as I near the age of 40. Actually, I'm only going to be 38, but still, I'm closer to 40 than I am 30, and I'm closer, it's a whole thing, yeah. And I want to watch movies, I want to watch movies. I want to watch, a movie, which is, a story that has characters and a plot, and has themes and motifs and symbols and symbolism, all these different things, right? I mean, again, what's a guy to do? At least back in the day, even just before, I'd say 2010, 2012, they were still making movies. Hollywood was still producing movies that I wanted to watch, that I wanted to see. And there were a bunch of them, so you knew that at some point you could buy the DVD or you could watch Netflix. But now, that's not the way the world works, and it just harms the industry. That's all. You try to shelve and catalog everything to save money so you don't have to pay people royalties and other licensing fees. I mean, again, how cheap can you be? Pretty cheap, obviously. You turn into Disney and you buy every media outlet out there, and then again, just choose to shelve things and never pay anybody for their work and never release it again. And why do that? Why would you do that? Why would you give people money to do things, to make stuff that you're not even going to have on the website for longer than a season or a year? It's so frustrating. Imagine how many people, look for an opportunity to just have $1 million in funding so that they can make some really cool movie. I mean, some of the coolest movies ever made, mind you, were made with the smallest budgets ever. There's things that I can think of, like Clerks, right? I think they made that movie with 30 racks. Again, it's just, this is where creativity comes from, right? It literally comes from trying to make whatever, you can to the best of your ability given the tools that you are provided. And that's not easy sometimes. It really isn't, because most of us have little to zero tools at our, disposal. We have to borrow them, right? We have to go out of our way. Sometimes, it's different for everyone, but for the majority of us, I feel like that it is like that. And it sucks to be poor and not even be able to watch things to distract you, right? It's like they're doing this on purpose. Again, because I don't think anyone, no one's watching this, right? No one is watching as the world turns. I mean, and those people that are watching it, again, I like those kinds of shows, like gossip shows, or what are they called? The shows they play in the middle of the day that everyone likes. Any of those shows, they've been around since TV's been around, I mean, so have the people that are watching them still to this day. Your General Hospitals, your soap operas, those are what I'm talking about. So it's not reflective of the user. That's all that I'm saying. No one's watching Hulu. We might all be paying for it, but I can assure you there's not a single thing on Hulu that not anyone who's a fan of Hulu hasn't seen 10,000 times already, and everything that they put up that's new is complete garbage. It really is. And it's Nepo baby garbage, and it bothers me because it's just some random, young person who is the son of somebody famous from 50 years ago. And I mean, I don't know, if they were good at acting, it wouldn't matter who their parents were. But unfortunately, for most of them, they all are really terrible actors. So, yeah, maybe directors and producers should cast people that know how to act, and really care about the story, and releasing it and owning the rights, doing whatever they have to do. But god damn, somebody get on their iPhone and make a good movie already, because it's bothering me. You can make a good movie for under 2K. You can make a good movie. I make vlogs for YouTube on the nightly with a phone that doesn't work and is completely cracked and broken. It just needs access to the internet. The other day, I couldn't even get it to turn on. I've been complaining about it for 8 months. I'm just saying, you gotta work with what you have sometimes. I mean, I don't know. And sometimes those are the best kinds of times, because you can be creative. This isn't, I mean, you think this was a goal of mine? Just to sit on my bed every single night talking about Red? I mean, yeah, I'd lie if I said that it wasn't entirely a small part of my life plan that I wanted to do something like this. But I didn't want to be forced into it. You feel me? I didn't want to have to resort to being 38 years old trying to make something of my life when I should have started this 10 years ago. And I knew I should have started it 10 years ago. I just didn't want to start it 10 years ago. And now, if I continue to wait for things to be the way that I need them to be for me to do what I need to do, then I'm always going to be waiting. And I will be 100 years old and nothing will have changed, and I will have died poor, broke, and lonely. You feel me? So, I don't know, some point something's gotta give. I have to try, and again, when I say that, it's because this is how I think of creativity, right? Is sometimes just being forced. If you want to do something, you do it, right? And it's sometimes it's easy. Most of the time it's incredibly difficult, if not damn near impossible. You feel me? I know these things. So can you believe that wasn't I'm not in character right now. This is me. I'm being this is me. Can you imagine spending 5 minutes around me just after I've eaten just even a little bit of food and have I don't know, a half a cup of coffee? You feel me? I'm an energy bunny, I'm just saying. So, yeah, I think I'm done talking now, but I hope that you guys have a really good night, and I hope that you're doing very well, and thank you for watching me continue to try and make something of my life. It's really important to me, so I really appreciate you. It's kind of my life, and I care a lot about it, just so much as I want everyone else to equally care about their own lives, you feel me? And then you can help other people, and that's a good thing. We could all use it. I hope that you guys have a really good night. My name is Albert. This was Vlogs About Nothing. I'll see you guys tomorrow, alright? Bye.